All right. Good morning, Senior Solutions. This is Jimmy Hernandez. I'm going to be your host today. Uh, Joe Johnson had to go and attend a family funeral out in Florida. So I will be taking care of you guys today. So again, welcome to the show. Let's go ahead and get started. I will say this, if anybody has any questions or something like that, go ahead and raise your hand or put it in the Q&A, and I will go ahead and address those as needed. So let's go ahead and get this started. So I just want to make a quick announcement. Each Monday, so every Monday evening, 6 o'clock at Central Standard Time, I do host a webinar series really directed towards, I'm going to say investing, your, financials. So we talk about retirement solutions. Sometimes we talk about financial planning. Sometimes we talk about estate planning. Sometimes we talk about taxes. So the topics do change every week. This is really geared towards the actual consumer, but it's great information for everybody, especially if you're in the financial services industry. This might help you, close some business when it comes to, like, let's say something bigger like an IUL or maybe annuity and stuff like that. So feel free to attend. You will need to register. The meetings are hosted via Zoom, and you can see there on the top right corner is my Zoom ID. This week, we're going to be talking about the state of the market. There's a lot of, I guess, things going on politically. The market's been kind of choppy here in the last, 2-3 weeks. And so it raises a lot of questions. And I'm going to have on the show Byron Pruce with Howard Capital Management. Byron is a really great guy, been around a long time. He's got some really good stuff to talk about. I'm going to interview him, so you are welcome to attend that show. So let's go ahead and move forward, and let's go ahead and start our sales training for the week. So before Joe left, he asked me if I can, try to train, like, let's say, either somebody that's new or rookie, or maybe somebody's been around a while but maybe they kind of fell in a slump. How can we pick them up? What can we do to help them get back on track? So let's go ahead and get started. So I want to start by motivating you, and let's talk about the money that's out there to be earned, right? So this is an income sample. It basically shows you the average. If you just sold one application per week, you're looking about $650 if you're at the 100% comp level, right? If you're above that, more. If you're a little less than that, then a little bit less. And then we calculate the 9-month advance, so there's the 487. But if you just submitted one application a week, right? No more, no less, then you would end up earning $32,500 for the year. We even just did that times 50, giving you 2 weeks of vacation, right? So just one app. If you wanted to do 2 apps a week, well, obviously you're going to 65,000, and 3 apps a week, you're at 97,500. That's what I call part-time status. If you're full-time, you really should be hitting between 6 or more apps a week, 6 to 8 apps a week. So let's talk about that number. 6 apps a week, you're looking at $3,900 in annual premium. You're looking at a weekly income 9-month advance at $29.25. That puts you at $195,000 a year. That is gross. That's before lead cost and other expenses. So you know what? Let's just call it I don't know, 70,000 in expenses. That still puts you at a $125, 125,000 a year. Pretty nice income for being self-employed, and pretty nice income to give you the flexibility to do the things that you want at home. So let's start with this, and then let's move forward. So you know what, if you want to be successful, whether you're a new agent or maybe you're an old agent that's kind of fell into a slump, it's all about activity, right? That's what it comes down to. And so it starts with prospecting. if you want to, stay busy, you want to write business, you want to make money, then you got to start prospecting. So when I say activity, I'm not talking about organizing your files. I'm not talking about product training or research or looking for new carriers. I'm talking about income producing activity, the kind of activity that puts money in your pocket, right? Puts the money in the bank account. All those other things that we just mentioned, you do those during non-income producing hours. So to give you an example, late evenings, early mornings, those are the days that you do all those non-producing, income producing activities, right? Um, so let's talk about what kind of activity are we talking about? Well, let's set some goals here. So if you want to write 6+ applications a week, then your activity should be at least 100 door knocks. Write that down. 100 door knocks, and you should be dialing about 300 calls a week. So that's 300 on the phone and 100 in face-to-face at the door. Now, if you're one of those agents that only door knocks, then scratch the phone calls. You should up your door knocks. If you're only going to prospect by phone, scratch the door knocks, and you should up your dials, right? But I'm going to say most people do a combination of both. Myself, I do combination of both. So 300 dials, 100 door knocks. That's your objective. That's your activity goal, right? So what are we looking for? We're looking to set 15 to 18 appointments a week. If you're not setting 15 to 18 appointments a week, you're not going to hit your numbers, right? So it's important to set that many because they're not all going to stick, right? But it's important to hit them, to get them scheduled, to get them on the books. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about leads, right? Because how are you going to knock on 100 doors a week, and how are you going to make 300 calls a week if you don't have enough leads to do that? It's just not going to happen. You have to constantly replenish yourself with leads. And I want to talk about this for a second because it doesn't have to be always A leads. That would be the best solution. That would be, the ideal situation. But I understand people may not have the cash flow to have that A lead constantly coming in every week. So let's talk about some alternatives, right? So one that I've always done is I buy a shit ton of B leads, right? You gotta buy them in bulk, man. I've bought up to 1,000 leads at one time. If you get a good buy, just buy them. If they're B leads, they're already old anyway. So what does it matter if you hold on to them and it takes you a little while to get through them? If you get a good deal on B leads, just buy them in bulk, man. And then let that supplement or fill in the gaps on your A leads, right? A couple things here. One, don't only work B leads. If you think you're going to work B leads and you're going to make 6 apps a week, you got another thing coming. That just ain't going to happen, right? So you need to make sure that you're getting an ample supply of fresh A leads, but you're going to supplement the gaps and fill those gaps. And what do I mean by that? Like, maybe you're on a reoccurring order and your order's 20 leads a week, which that's what, if you're going full time, that's what you should be buying, 20 leads a week, right? Minimum. So if you're on the order for 20, but maybe you're only getting 15 or 12. Well, you got to fill the gap because you didn't get your whole 20. How do you fill the gap? You fill them with those B leads. Now, if let's say you had 12 come in this week, right? 8 B leads is not going to cut it. You're going to have to cut deep into those B leads. So you might have to work 40 to really, fill the gap for those 8 A leads that you didn't get. So I'm hoping you're following me, with this, right? But you got to have plenty of leads to pick from. I should have had a link up here. I didn't think about it till right now, but one source that I go to is the Age Lead Store. That's a good source of B leads. They're relatively inexpensive. I think they're about $1.50 a piece, right? So you can buy those in bulk. You also have YIG. They often have B leads, and sometimes they run B lead specials. And that's what I would do. I mean, I swear to God, if they had a good B lead special, I'd buy every lead in the state of Texas. And this is a big state, man. I got to tell you, I've traveled all over this state, and from El Paso to Amarillo, all the way to Dallas and out to Houston and Beaumont and all the way down into the valley. I've been in the middle. I've been to Waco. I've been to Odessa. Guys, I have been throughout this whole state. And if Jimmy can do it in Texas, whatever state you're in, you could do it too. So I just have a question. I'm just going to call you out. If this is your business, are you going all out? Because you should. I mean, think about this. If how many times have you heard stories of actors? I've seen them on social media, right? These little clips of all the struggles that they went through before they made it big. Jim Carrey used to sleep in his car. I've heard Steve Harvey's story. I mean, those are really cool stories. But you know what? You're writing your own story, and maybe you're not an actor or a singer or some kind of artist, right? But you're a salesman, you're an insurance salesman, and you got to go for it, bro. You got to lay down that credit card. You got to, sell stuff. You got to do whatever you got to do, man. If you need to go and take your title to your car to go get a loan on it so that you can have enough money to generate and buy leads, then that's what you got to do. This is your business. This is your dream. You got to go all out. It's either all in or nothing, right? And too many times I see agents, they just kind of put their foot in. They just want to get their foot wet, right? They just want to test the water. No, man, you got to dive in. You got to jump in, submerge yourself, suck it up, make it happen, and then we can go back to talking about these activities, right? So let's move on. So those presentations, you said this is the next part. We talked about 15 to 18 appointments. Realistically, you're probably only going to sit with 12, but maybe you get 12 to 15. That's your goal, right? But if you're only setting 12 appointments, you're not going to sit with 12. You might sit with 8 or 9, right? You need to have 12 sits minimum. 12 sits, that's what you need, right? So 12 to 15 is our goal. The average agent closes at a 60% app ratio. Now, not close ratio, but app ratio. Because some houses, you're going to write 2 apps on husband and wives. Other houses, you might write 1 app on the person that filled out the card, and then maybe a children's whole life or something. Or maybe a regular life on a different family member, right? But sometimes you get multiple applications in a house. But at the end of the week, your app ratio should be 60% or better of how many sits you had. So that means that if you're sitting with 12 people, that you should be closing 7 or have 7 to 9 apps a week. Right? That's the goal. So that's what we're looking for. Now let's talk about this application. That's the key to success right there, bro. If you're turning in those apps, you're staying busy, and then you're keeping the I guess you can say the bill collector away, if you will. You're sitting in a good place financially because you got cash flow coming in. On average, and I'm going to say this is probably maybe a little exaggerated, it's probably a little bit better this, but you should be getting about an 80% approval rate. I'd say maybe it's because I've been doing it wrong. I'm closer to 100%, right? Like maybe not quite 100, but probably 95 or something. Every now and then somebody slips through the cracks, but maybe you're new, right? So we'll just say 20% of the business you write doesn't get approved, right? So that means that out of those 7 applications that you turned in, that 6 are going to get issued and paid. right? So that was our goal, 6 issue paid. Let's go back to the chart. There it is, 6, 3,900 in AP, 3,900 in commission, 2,925 in your advance pay, and that puts you at 195,000 a year. We'll just round it off, call it a cool 70 grand in expenses. You're netting 125. I'm going to assume that if you're on this call, you're not netting 125, because the guys that are, they're too busy to be on this call. They already got, they already got it down, right? So let's go back to this, right? So if you're writing $3,900 a week and you're not at 85%, you'll be at 100% real quick, because our commission grid is based on production. So you're going to tear up, you'll be at 100%, and you'll be on that quickly if you're writing $3,900 in business a week. So I just thought I'd throw that back out there. So if you want to get to this number, we're going to go back to the beginning, talk about activity. It's going to take 100 door knocks. It's going to take 300 dials. If you're not doing 100 door knocks and 300 dials, you're not going to write the 6 apps, not on a consistent basis. You might pop it every now and then, but I'm talking about being consistent, putting money in that bank account every week. You need to have the activity up, right? So let's talk about some ways I can help you stay on course to hit those numbers. And so we're going to start with the activity tracker. So I should have probably posted a picture with all the tick marks on this, but I like a clean sheet so everybody can kind of see what I'm doing. What I do with the activity tracker, and you can download this off the website. I take this to Office Depot. I email them the PDF document, and I tell them to print 52 of these and to put it on a binder. That's what they do. 52 weeks. That gives you a whole year. So each year, you have it on a binder, and you keep this binder with you at the office when you're making your dials. You take it with you in the car when you're making your door knocks, and you just simply keep track of it, right? So it's self-explanatory. You're going to mark how many dials you have. Now, again, it's a tick mark. So every time you make a dial, you're going to mark 1. You're going to, on the 5th one, you're going to cross through it like a hash mark, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 slanted. Now you're going to keep track of them by 5s. So what you want to use this for is, 1, you want to hold yourself accountable. So you're able to see to yourself, are you making enough income producing prospecting activities to write 6 apps a week, right? Because when you're not filling in these blanks and you got a bunch of blanks on the page, the only person you can look at is yourself in the mirror, right? So I use this so I can gauge where I go off course. So let's say I make a bunch of dials. The next one, it says, number of scripts, right? SCPTS. That's short for scripts, meaning that you actually spoke to somebody. You did a script over the phone. Hi, Michael, this is Jimmy. I'm calling with Senior Solutions. The reason why I'm calling, you had mailed in this card requesting information about the final expense program. I'm the agent that's been assigned to your area. I'm going to be out there tomorrow. Michael, what's the best time for me to stop by? Booyah, that's a script. That's simple. I don't talk about a life insurance. I don't ask them how old they are. I don't ask them if they have a bank account. I don't ask them, nothing. That's it. That's the script. Short, simple, sweet. How many scripts did you get to say, right? So if you made, let's say you made 50 dials, right? You can't control how many people answered the phone, but you'll start seeing a pattern, right? So let's say you make 50 dials and you actually got 15 people that answered the phone. So that would be 15 scripts. So now you're going to track how many appointments did you book, right? So if you booked, let's say 10 appointments, then you're strong on the phone. But if you only booked 1 or 2 appointments, that tells you that you need help. you need to check with Joe or your upline. If I'm your upline, you check with me so we can, talk about what to change, because you're getting the people answering the calls, but you're not getting enough appointments booked. In most of the cases, people are talking too much, just to let you know. That almost 9 times out of 10, people talk too much, right? But sometimes there's other issues, right? So the next thing is you're going to track your door knocks, right? So you're going to go to the house. You're going to knock on the door. It's the same thing, except now you're in person. You show them the paper, right? So I'm holding out the paper. Hi, Mr. Michael. My name's Jimmy. I'm with Senior Solutions. I got my name badge on. I'm showing them the card. I came out because you had mailed in the card requesting this information. You got a couple of minutes. May I come in? Booyah, right? Wipe your feet at the front mat. Nod your head. Get inside the house. Do the presentation, right? So I count that as an appointment, and I also did the sit, right? So that would be, how many door knocks I did, how many people answered the door that I actually got to make the script to, and then the next one was how many appointments did I book, right? Now, not all the time I'm able to get in right then and there. They might say, hey, Jimmy, I'm about to go to the doctor's office. I'm on the way out to, to my job. I'm going to go pick up the kids, whatever they're going to say, right? I say, okay, well, I'm going to be working in this area all day. I'll swing back later this afternoon. How does 3 o'clock sound, or 4 o'clock, right? They say, oh yeah, that's perfect. I'll be back in a couple hours, right? So I booked my appointment. I'm swinging back by, right? So the key here when you're in person is to keep it casual. Don't try to pin them down for a specific hour. I'm going to be in your area all day. I'll swing back by this afternoon. What time do you think you'll be here? Okay. And I don't say I'm going to be, like if they say I'll be back by 2. Okay. I don't say I see you at 2. I'll see you sometime after 2. Because what if at 2 o'clock I'm at somebody else's house and I'm making a presentation? I don't want them to know. I don't want them to say, oh, this guy is showing up late, or I don't want them, being mad because I'm late. So I leave that open. I'll see you after 2, right? Swing back by. You count your sits, whether you're sitting in, off a door knock, or you're sitting off of a telephone lead. You count how many times you made a presentation. This is done daily. The next one, APV, that's your annualized premium, right? So that means you wrote an application. So you're going to track that. Just to let you know, I would, that space above the $sign, you're going to write multiple apps in a day. So you write each one, right? So one app equals, let's say it was 650 AP. The second app was worth 700, and so on. And then I put a total at the end of on the bottom at the end of the day. How many referrals did you get, right? So if you get back in your car and you go, oh man, I forgot to ask for a referral, shoot, go back to the door, knock on that door and ask them, hey, you know what? While I'm out in the area, who else do you know that could use this, right? So it gets you back on track. Get those referrals. That last box, safe money. That's what that stands for. What is safe money? Hold on here. Michael, I know you're on the road, but I'm going to find you. I'm going to unmute you. I kind of want to have some interaction here. Oh, I don't see you no more. All right, Jaime. Where's Jaime at? There you are. Jaime, I'm going to put you on the spot. Jaime, if you can unmute yourself. Jaime Cano. Okay, I don't see Jaime responding. Okay, so, well, let me tell you what safe money is. Safe money means that they have either a lump sum in retirement, maybe they just inherited some money, maybe it's in their savings account, right? And they don't want to put it in the stock market or mutual funds or whatever because of the market volatility. They want it to be safe. And maybe they didn't tell you that, but you got to initiate that conversation, right? So when you find safe money, that's an opportunity to come back and do a presentation for an annuity. so that you're taking it out of the market and you're able to put that money in a safe place and protect it. And in some cases, you might even provide them an income, very much like a pension for those folks. Now, this is something you should be coming out in your presentation when you're asking them if they have any beneficiary designated accounts. And they're going to ask, well, what do you mean by that? Well, like, for example, do you have a 401k or some sort of retirement plan that when you pass away, that money passes on to your beneficiary? And they say, oh, yeah, I have this and I have that. You write that in there, safe money. That's how you find it, guys, safe money. So that's just a little tidbit on the side. So let's go ahead and move on. So you're going to track this each week, right? Each day. And then at the end of the week down here, this is important. Application to sit ratio. You're going to calculate that, right? So how many sits did you have? How many apps did you write? Divide that, right? That gives you your sit ratio. Total appointments booked, right? Number of leads you received that week, right? So if you got, 20 fresh leads and then you got another 50 B leads, I would put that total of 70 and I would break it down over here, like how you did it, right? Or how you got it. And that will keep you track so that when you see that you had a bad week, you can refer back to that. Or when you had a really good week, you can see the activity was based off of leads, right? So you need to track this every week, right? It's very, very important. So what's the next tool that I want to talk about? Well, this helps you with this activity tracker. So the next one is what we call a work schedule. So I'm pretty sure that most of you guys have worked for somebody else at one point in your life. And when you worked for them, you had to abide by a schedule. Well, I don't know what it is about people when they start their own business. The first thing that they say is, oh, well, I'm my own boss. I write my own schedule. But the truth of it is they don't have a schedule. They just running off of the cuffs, right? They're just doing it as it comes. And once you do this for a while, you realize that doesn't work. You got to make a schedule for yourself, right? This is Jimmy's schedule right here. Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Dials. That's how I'm getting the $300 a week. I'm dialing right here. I probably get about 150 dials in between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. And by the way, hey, don't be scared to call somebody 8 o'clock. We've talked about this before. The number one hour where I get the most appointments booked every Saturday is 8 to 9. I track how many appointments I make in each hour, and 8 to 9, I always get the most appointments. So don't be scared of that time slot. So, book appointments to 12 o'clock. Now, when you're calling on Saturday, you're booking appointments for Monday, not Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Monday. If they don't fit in Monday, the most you can do is kick them over to Tuesday. If you're booking an appointment beyond Tuesday, they're not going to stick. Don't even waste your time. You just want to circle back to those people later, maybe on a door knock or something, right? Book it for Monday. And the way you do this is you get a little yellow pad out, you write down Monday, you write down your time slots. You can say 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, just 2 hours apart. Write them all down and try to fill it all the way up. And book that last appointment at 8 o'clock p.m. Let Monday be a strong ass work day, right? So you book all your appointments on Monday, right? So let's count them. You got 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 7 appointments that you have 7 slots to fill. On Saturday, if I book all 7 slots, let's say by 10:30, you're done. You don't have to dial to 12. You're gold, right? And if I book my 7 appointments on Saturday, I don't have to dial on Sunday, right? But whatever gaps I have, I dial Sunday afternoons and I fill those gaps. That's the way to do it, guys. Then Monday, let's talk about Monday. So we get out there, we start our appointments, right? You know how it says right here, appointment/door knocks? That's because whatever gaps I may have, maybe I dialed Saturday and Sunday and I still have gaps on Monday, I'm going to door knock in those gaps. Or if I have a no-show, so, you know, maybe my first appointment, 8 o'clock, is no-showing me, then I'm going to keep knocking on doors and I'm going to work towards my 10 o'clock appointment. So, you know, that's a whole nother topic, but just to summarize for you, I use Road Warrior and I look for the leads that are going to be from point A where I'm at now. Let's say first appointment no showed. Where's my second appointment? What leads do I have geographically from point A to my second appointment? I route it out and I start door knocking on the way to my second appointment. This way I'm systematically working in the right direction. When I get to appointment B, if that one no showed, I'm rerouting for leads that go to my third appointment. That's the way it works, right? I'm going to tell you I'm going to say most of the time, most of my Monday appointments stick, right? So just, you know, plan on being there. Now, here's just a quick question. Do you want to call to remind them? No, because what happens is they're going to say, oh, I want to change my mind. No, just show up. Knock on the door. I don't know how many times people say, oh, man, I forgot you're coming, but go ahead and come on in, right? Just show up. That's the key to this thing. Show up. All right. So you're going to door knock on Monday and you're going to hit your appointments on Monday. Now, let's say you did fill up Monday's, book, but you did some door knocks and you scheduled appointments for Tuesday, right? So now on Tuesday, you're door knocking again between appointments. So it's the same as Monday. You're knocking on doors. You're going to appointments all day. Boom. Wednesday, for me, that was an office day. So on Wednesday, I am following up on all my applications, getting any, requirements taken care of. Sometimes it might be need a phone interview, whatever. I'm doing that on Wednesday, right? So this is for submitted business on Monday and Tuesday. Whenever I'm done, with all of that, then I'm going to make my dials, right? And I'm going to do some admin work in the afternoon, and then I'm going to make some more dials again at night. And what am I doing? I'm booking for Thursday and Friday, and it's the same process. Thursday, I'm hitting the appointments and door knocking in between. Friday morning is all webinars for me, and then Friday afternoon, I'm door knocking and I'm hitting apps. Now, I'm just going to say there are some modifications. I like to reward myself. So I put an app count on how many apps I want each week. And for Jimmy, if I hit those numbers, I take the rest of the week off, y'all. So there's been many times I get all my apps in on Monday. Sometimes it's on Tuesdays. Sometimes it's on Thursday, right? Sometimes I don't get my apps in and I'm busting my ass on Friday all the way up until Friday evening. But you got to do what you got to do to get your apps in. Now, sometimes I'm just on a high and I don't want to stop. So even though I hit my number, I just keep going, right? It depends on you, but throw some rewards out there. Maybe, you don't take the rest of the week off, but maybe you buy yourself something, right? You got to reward yourself. So set the schedule. We're going to go back one. You're going to keep the activity tracker, and then you're going to keep moving forward. So I'm going to pause. Oops. There we go. I have one more bit of information before we end it, but I'm going to pause to address any questions that somebody may have. So let me look over here on the other screen. So I don't see any current questions right now. Let me see if anybody has any hands up. Let's see here. Uh-oh, I did something. Oh, there we go. All right, so let me see if anybody has their hands raised. I don't see any questions. I don't see any hands raised. So, oh, I see a question. Sylvester, I'm going to just unmute you. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Sylvester.
Okay. Hi, Jimmy. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. Sylvester Gonzalez from Harlingen, Texas. Welcome.
Oh, thanks. Jimmy, I just had a question on the B leads.
Yes, sir.
Uh, since they're age leads, have they been worked by other agents,
Yeah.
or they're just nobody has touched them yet?
No, they've been previously worked.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Thank you, Jimmy.
Sure. So let me talk about that for a second. Thank you for coming on with that question, Sylvester. By the way, he's a great agent, so he's doing really good right now. Um, the age leads have been worked previously, but think about this: when you're getting them, they're anywhere from, let's say, 30 days. The ones that I buy, they're either 30 days to maybe 90 days old. So that means the people that worked them, they worked them at least a month ago. So these people like kind of already gotten past that. Now here's what I found when I work age leads. Occasion, occasionally the salesman made a sell. I love that. Don't let that get you down. You should get excited because that means you're going to write that business, because almost all the time I can beat their price. Almost all the time. Let me tell you about the competitors that we have out there. Most of them have higher rates than us. I'm not going to use any names, but there's two companies out there that also do a lot of final expense that automatically just write everybody on graded. It doesn't matter if they're eligible for level coverage or not. They just write everybody graded. And I love that because I can go into somebody's house, I look at their policy. So it's key. If they say, oh, yeah, I already bought that last month. Oh, really? I've been able to look at some of those policies and save people some substantial amount of money. Do you mind if I take a look at it to see if we can save you some money? They'll say, yeah. Can you grab your paperwork? Yeah. Man, at that point, man, it's not even about doing a presentation, right? It's easy money. It's like a shortcut, right? So they bring it out. I see that this is a graded policy. I don't know, let's just say it's 10,000. I don't know, maybe it's like 70 bucks a month. So I look at them and I say, well, I see that they gave you a sick man's policy, right? This is for sick people. Do you have some, what are those illnesses or diseases that you have that they had to give this to you? Well, I don't have any diseases or illnesses. Well, can you share with me, what kind of medications you have, blah, blah, right? So you get them talking, say, well, see, here's the thing. This right here, this shows that if you were to die in the first 2 years, it doesn't pay anything, but you're healthy. You don't need this policy, right? So then what you do is you requote it, but you give them a higher face amount for the same premium, right? Did you hear what I said? I didn't say save them money and reduce the premium. I said give them more coverage for the same premium. So then I come back and say, look, not only are you going to get day one coverage, but you're going to get $15,000 of death benefit instead of $10,000 for the same $70 a month. And this is with Mutual of Omaha or Security National Life or whatever company, and give them a brochure. What are they doing? They're signing up. You're writing that up. I mean, that's like gravy, right? If it is something that is a level, chances are you can still beat it. Worst case scenario, and it does happen, they got the lowest rate out there. I commend them. I say, hey, that guy did you a great job. You got the best rate available for your age and for your, for your health. Is there anybody else that you know of that might be able to, benefit from this, right? You move on, but that's a great opportunity. Chances are, though, most of those people, they didn't buy nothing. Maybe the other agent didn't get a hold of them. Maybe the other agent, the company that they represented sucked. Maybe the agent went out there and he gave them a little piece of paper with their name and number on there because they didn't have a business card. I've seen this a lot of times. They say, oh, I was a new agent. So they have the old agent's business card and they cross through it and then they handwrite their name and their phone number. I mean, how unprofessional is that, right? So don't let that deter you. I love B leads. If you can get a hold of them, it's a real high probability you're going to close the sale if you can get a hold of them. So the reason why you need some extra ones is because sometimes those people have died or moved. So, they're not always there, right? Not like a fresh lead. So any other questions out there? Let me check. Anybody else want to raise their hand? Nope. All right, I'm just going to talk about something real quick. Let's talk about safe money, because this is something that a lot of agents are missing. Guys, you guys should be writing at least one annuity. I'm going to say at least one every other month at a bare minimum. I mean, for me, my goal is to write one a month at a minimum, right? And it's easy. It's easy to find. You know, there's been many times that I've gone out there on a final expense lead and I didn't make the sell. I did not sell them life insurance, but they got annuity. So I still made a sell. It just wasn't life, right? So what I want to talk about just real quick is what's the difference between life insurance and annuity, right? So think about it like this. Life insurance provides an immediate benefit. It creates an estate, right? So like, let's say, for example, you're working with somebody, I don't know, let's just say they're age 50, right? And that person is still working, right? They got a job, they're still, paying the bills. And, I'm going to say like most of the people that we see, they're paycheck to paycheck, right? They don't really have any substantial savings. So on their passing, the life insurance creates an estate. It creates a $10,000, $20,000, maybe $100,000 death benefit. It creates this big bucket of money. It creates an estate. That's life insurance, okay? An annuity settles the estate. What do I mean by that? I mean that they have that bucket of money already saved up. It didn't come from life insurance. They got the money, right? It's in a retirement account. Maybe it's a 401k or an IRA. Maybe they had a government job. It's a 403b or 457, right? But it's in some sort of retirement account. They got this bucket of money and they don't know what to do with it. They don't really, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm a financial advisor. I'm an investment advisor. And even the people that make a lot of money don't know what to do with their money. I'm telling you, people don't know how to invest and they want to know and they want it to be safe. So when you find somebody and they say, yes, I have a 401k from my old employer, I don't know what to do with it. I got this new job, but I have 20,000 over here from the other job. Should I roll it over? Well, there's your opportunity. You write it in the safe money, 20,000, 40,000, 60,000, whatever they have, right? And then we're able to provide them a solution to help them either grow that money or maybe use it to generate an income either for a specified period, like maybe for the next 10 years or maybe for the rest of their life, depending what their needs are, right? Sometimes we're talking with people that they're going to retire maybe in the next few years. So they want it to grow at first, but then they want to use it for income later. This is a great solution because the annuities that we work with, they take the money out of the stock market and remove that downside risk, right? So if the stock market drops, their account is still intact. They didn't lose anything. But what's really cool is the hybrid annuities that we work with, they're still able to participate in the growth of the market up to a certain percent. So they get capped at the top end because they're protecting their account on the bottom end, right? So the floor is zero and the ceiling varies from one insurance company to another depending on what type of product we're looking at, right? And depending on what state they're in. So I'm just telling you, you guys have to ask those questions, right? Now, sometimes people do get money from a death claim. One of my agents in California, he just sent it to me yesterday. He has a customer that is in his 60s. He's on retirement. He doesn't really need any additional income. He's fine. The house is paid for. The income that he's getting from Social Security and from his small pension is enough to pay his bills. He's comfortable. he's happy. He's not looking for money. But he inherited $100,000 from his mom's death. And so my agent asked him, well, what do you want to do with this money? And he said, well, I really want this to continue to grow, and I want to pass this on to my son. Okay, great opportunity. Let's take it out of the stock market, protect it, allow it to continue to grow, and then when you pass on, this will go to your son. The cool thing about it is it's still there while he's alive, so if he needed funds from it, an emergency or something happened, I mean, he can still access those funds. In most cases, you can access 5 or even up to 10% a year without having to pay any penalties, right? So guys, don't leave any money on the table when you're out in the field. Make sure you're asking the questions. If you need help, then you get with Joe or myself and we'll help you close that deal. But what I want to tell you is you got to first find it, and you're not going to find it if you're not asking the right questions. So I think that concludes everything I wanted to talk about. Looks like we finished a little bit early. I'm going to open it up for questions one last time. If you have a question, raise your hand, or maybe just stick it in the Q&A. So I don't see any hands up, and I don't see any questions. All right, so before we go, I'm just gonna reach out to Michael Mahalik. Are you still there, Michael? I don't see Michael on the call. So, hey, Sylvester, if you don't mind, I'm gonna unmute you again real quick.
Oh, hi, Jimmy. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Hey, so Sylvester, because I just want to have a little bit more engagement on the call, any part of the presentation, do you have any questions or comments about?
These annuities, I know we touched bases when you came down last month. They're very interesting. It's awesome. Good news with the Emeritus and our Flex IULs. The 4 policies that we wrote, they're being approved. So this is something new for me, investing. So, and it's working out. So it's another tool that we can have with us, so we can produce more income instead of just final expense. So investing is I find it interesting. I'm going to learn more about it, and my next step is going to be annuities. So now instead of just one tool with final expenses, we have investing and annuities. So thanks for sharing that with us, Jimmy.
My pleasure. And I'll just throw. I just thought about this. I'm going to throw this on the call. I know the people that are attending are from all over the country, right? But like I'm down in Texas, Sylvester, and some of the other guys down in South Texas. We call it the Rio Grande Valley. And if you're familiar with the map of the United States, when you go down to that very tip, way down on the bottom, that's right there by the ocean and by Mexico, that's where Sylvester and his crew's at. And so last month I was there. We did some training, and then we had a day of golf, and it was a lot of fun. And so just thought I'd throw this on the call because we're planning to go back down, and I say we, Joe and I are planning to go back down there in November. We're going to try to fit it in our schedule. So guys, if you're interested in going all the way down to the tip of Texas, and we'll make an announcement. You can fly into the airport there, or maybe drive down and get some training. But we're gonna have another day of golf. Wasn't it fun, Sylvester?
Oh, it was awesome, and that's when the first cool front came in. So we lucked out at 8 o'clock in the morning. The wind was coming in from the north. It was just beautiful. We couldn't plan it a better way. It was just awesome.
Yes, it was. And I got to tell you, man, Sylvester is a great host. He's got some really nice property out on the edge of town, and he's got a really good setup to host a really nice barbecue. So we'll be looking to do that again. And I love that Sylvester's an early riser like myself. So we were up real early before the sun came up, having breakfast at a really good restaurant. So guys, just kind of keep your ears open for that announcement. Hopefully we can get that booked sometime in November. I know that's a busy month. We're about to go into the holidays, but so with that, I'm going to say farewell. Everybody, God bless. Y'all have a great weekend. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.